I have been a meditator for a long time, and was looking for a way to deepen my practice. That was the original intention. I had read about Ibogaine, gosh, 10 years ago maybe, in New York Times Magazine, and it was about treating heroin addiction, and seemed like a miracle drug that just appeared out of nowhere as far as the popular consciousness is concerned. And I was very intrigued by the fact that it was able to interrupt the addiction without any withdrawal symptoms. The experience took them to the place where they first developed their addiction. That's the way that was presented in the New York Times magazine. And that seemed like something more than just your basic pharmaceutical, where you mask symptoms or you kill germs or microbes like that. And I said, there's something happening on the objective level here that's really intriguing to me. And I said, well, if it works for people's addictions to opiates, what would it do to other compulsive, dysfunctional aspects of a person's personality if they were able to get to the point in time in their personal history where they went off track, for want of a better term? Then that could be very valuable in a psychotherapeutic sense. I said, well, I'm a pretty screwed up person. That's sounds like that's right for me. And so then I started just kind of letting that thought germinate in my mind, and then it sort of connected inside my head with what I knew, what little I knew about Ibogaine. And then one day I just started this real long and wide and deep web search for Ibogaine, and that started some years ago, and even it was before there was the availability in the West that there is now. And so I learned about Howard Lotsoff, and I learned about his struggles, and I learned about how it was a Schedule I drug in the United States, Belgium, and Switzerland, and a couple other places. But in the other, in the rest of the world, it's not restricted. And so I realized that something's going to happen. This is naturally going to evolve into something where there are going to be Ibogaine providers in the not too distant future, and it has been borne out. And then I came across the IbogaQuest website. I started reading a little bit about Barry, and I saw that he was a long-time student of the Dharma. And I was by then of the belief that there is a great amount of cross-pollination that can happen between the shamanic traditions of this planet and the Dharma. And so when I saw that he had studied with Chogyam Trungpa, and that he was also a student of Dzogchen, I was very intrigued about that, because I said, well, there's somebody who's thinking kind of in the same direction that I'm thinking. And so I wrote him an email, and everything else just fell into place, My experience down here in Tepoztlan at IbogaQuest with Barry and Veronica has been wonderful. It's been heavenly. It's been a very caring, a very supportive, and a very nurturing experience from people who have had the experience and are able to relate to what you're going through on a much more than clinical basis. I would describe my experience as the emotional equivalent of passing a kidney stone for 12 hours. It was extremely difficult. It was taxing, and it was extremely beneficial. When I was in the throes of the experience, I was saying, who would ever do this? When when I came out of it, I started feeling every day a little bit more. This is relevant, this is potent, this is deep, this is extremely useful. To me, it seems like a very, very intense, tough love version of cognitive behavioral therapy, where you start seeing in an in an unavoidable way, in an immensely clear way, those areas in your mental landscape where you are sabotaging yourself, where you are thinking thoughts that are totally counterproductive, and where you are holding encysted emotion in different parts of your body, and how that is created and how it's deconstructed and handled, and how you have the possibility of handling it in a very what would the word be? In a very permanent way. It's not like taking an antidepressant and feeling okay as long as you're on the drug that your psych or your doctor prescribed for you. It's a way of getting down into those areas of your psyche where you are causing yourself pain, where you're resisting flows of emotion, and where you're resisting certain circumstances and situations, and you are ignoring certain things about yourself. You are compulsive about certain things about yourself. It was just incredibly revelatory and incredibly useful. And I'm still processing the information, and I expect I will be doing so for months to come, if not more. As far as what I was hoping would happen, what I intended to happen, it has happened. Now, to say that it has happened is not to say that the Glinda the Good Witch came and waved a magic wand over my head and everything was fine. What I come away from this experience with is a tremendous sense of peace and a sense of hope, and a clear set of issues that I intend to work on in many areas of my life. It's a heavy experience. It's work. You need to be prepared to face your demons, and you need to be really sure that you want to do it. But when you're in the midst of it, there is a certain aspect to the experience that makes you believe with certainty that you're never going to get out of it, that you're never going to get better, that there's no hope. That's, and I don't want to define the whole Ibogaine experience, because there have been people that I've read about and people that I've spoken with who've had heavenly experiences throughout the Ibogaine experience. So it may not be, but don't bet the farm on the fact that you're going to go in and you're going to be surrounded by angels and Care Bears. But if you're really certain that you want to do it and you want to put that much work into it in one 36-hour period, I couldn't be more enthusiastic in my endorsement of that experience, but with the caveats that I just mentioned, and with the encouragement in that, as I said earlier, you will be possibly during the experience in a place where you're going to feel totally hopeless. And if you've seen this video, remind yourself of this one phrase: you'll get through it. You will get through it to your great betterment. That's your, there's a lifeline that's, leading back up to the surface of your life, that's going to take you back up there in a better place than when you went in.